Matt Kinley, Mattkkinley, Fire Chief of the Seminole County Fire Department. Obviously, we're here for a fire at 857 Ballard Street. I just go through some of the technical aspects for you all that I know that you like to have. We had 30 fire department units that were on scene, to include the Seminole County Fire Department, Maitland, and Longwood Fire Departments. Over 70 firefighters, 12 units, apartments were affected in this fire. The first call came in at 1:23:20 in the morning. It was dispatched out 25 seconds later, and we had units on scene within 3 minutes and 14 seconds of being dispatched. Water on the fire in less than 2 minutes. We did have one victim, child. State Fire Marshal's Office and Altamonte Springs PD are doing that investigation. Our crews arrived on scene, heavy fire. As you can see from behind me, a lot of units affected. Crews did an incredible job getting water on the fire. Reports of a couple of victims when we first arrived. Ultimately, we did have one fire fatality. I just want to say our crews did an exceptional job on this alarm. Unfortunately, you can do everything perfect sometimes, and tragedy still happens. I don't know. You have to talk to the State Fire Marshal or Altamonte Springs PD.
Do we know where the child was found?
It's not a very large apartment. Not sure exactly where the child was found in the apartment.
Was it a young child or an older child? I mean, like teenager? Or...
Looks preteen.
I gotta imagine.
Right in that fire. That's where the fire started, and obviously spread to the other units.
Upper level?
Upper.
That's what the child was found in this upper unit right here?
I believe so.
Also, there was a report about fire alarms. They activated smoke detectors.
We didn't get any reports of fire alarms sounding when we got here. 12 units. We don't have a count on the number of people. Again, have the Red Cross is here. Speak to them, and they can give you those numbers.
It's going to be concerning to not have smoke detectors going off in a building like this.
Yeah, and it depends on the fire progression. Again, there was very heavy fire. The fire detection system could have been overwhelmed and actually burnt, but we don't know if there was any active smoke detectors here. There's a victim advocate here from the Altamonte Springs PD. Obviously, our crews did talk to the parent, and they're comforting her at this point.
What's the hardest part about a scene like this? Flames are sitting in the sky. You have an apartment complex, apartments very close together. What's the toughest part about putting up the fire?
On this particular fire, very heavy fire conditions when our crews first arrived. They pulled the biggest hose line that we have, put the most water on it they could. Just the volume of the fire, the progression of the fire was the hardest thing to mitigate, obviously, and then you're getting reports of victims and putting resources towards finding those.
We have a lot of firefighters out here. I imagine a lot of them parents. How hard does this hit for the crews out here?
It hits home. You are right. We've got a lot of firefighters out here with families. We've already had some conversations, and we always do things after the fire to ensure that their mental health is well taken care of. Just us having conversations at the scene and breaking down the numbers just like I did with you all, so that they know they did everything that they possibly could.
I know fire marshals here, but is there anything obvious about where or how this fire started?
No.
The kitchen? Or...
No, and as you can see, because of the progression of the fire, it's not easy to tell, and that's when we bring in the professionals to really go back to find out what actually happened.
Was the child home alone, or were there other people?
There was other people in the home. Yeah, so we'll stay here until everything is completely out. Every wisp of smoke is done. We'll come back routinely to make sure that the fire doesn't continue at all, and we release it over to the State Fire Marshal, and they really have the authority because of the death to do their investigation, and then they'll release it over to Altamonte Springs PD.
There's no other injuries?
No other reported injuries, no.
What's your message to them?
Just please have this family in your thoughts. They're suffering a tragedy that none of us ever want to experience, and just keep them in your thoughts.
A building this kind of apartment complex, would they be required to have smoke detectors?
You'll have to talk to property management.
I mean, but is there not a fire code?
It is a best practice to always have a smoke detector in your home. We routinely, and we will on this fire, come back and do a blitz in this area to make sure that everyone has an opportunity to have a smoke detector provided by the fire department.
But they wouldn't necessarily be breaking an ordinance or a law if they didn't have one.
You'll have to talk to the state fire marshal.
Did this tradition, you guys arrived and then you guys sent out a second alarm after you guys arrived?
Yeah, so when you look at the number of units here, this is, for all intents and purposes, a 3-alarm fire. It's routine practice for us once we have reports of somebody in trap that we strike a second alarm, because that's a resource-heavy task to remove somebody out of a home.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.